All right, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Nathaniel, and we'll be going through the Nibbles box. But before we get right into it, there are a few things I wanted to discuss, and it's what I've learned solving a little bit of boxes is, again, the ability to be able to recognize patterns and being able to use those patterns to solve other boxes. So it's important that when you are done with the OSCP course material, that you actually start looking at walkthroughs. You can attempt to solve some of those boxes on your own, but after a while, my recommendation is to go through 10 to 20 boxes and kind of understand, because the truth is, if you're going to solve about 200 boxes or something, then you should probably go through 10 to 20 of them and just look at walkthroughs and see how the brain behind the whole concept, or why is this tool used. Oh, okay, I learned this in the OSCP material. Okay, so this is how it's used. Okay, then it was abstract. Now I understand why it's used. Okay, this is why we spin up servers. Oh, this is why we have to spin up a reverse shell and all that stuff. You know, things like that really help in how you are able to compromise those boxes. Again, that try harder mentality comes from a place of, okay, if you're gonna try harder, you at least need to be able to have the lungs and the energy to be able to try harder. In other words, being able to have the materials and at least some form of knowledge to try harder. So that is my recommendation. So let's get right into it. Okay, let me copy this real quick so we can do an Nmap scan. All right. I think we've already scanned the I've already scanned the Nibble box, so that we can just start working on the solutions to the machine. All right, my web server. Okay, let me see. All right, so we're gonna just CD right into desktop, so that, okay, before we move on, so I just start from scratch. So if you're going to do an Nmap scan, all you need to do is, and there's something else I learned too, a little bit of trick I learned with the Nmap scan. You can do, instead of you doing -v, you can do -v2, being that you're trying to do very verbose. You can do 2, and then you can do dash, you know, when you do things like -s, c, -s, v, right? Instead of you having to highlight these options this way, you can simply have it like that, and they also produce the same options also. And then of course you can then I generally do this, no, sorry, and then you can then put your IP address, whatever the IP address is, and then you can put it into whatever file you're trying to put it into, and so on and so forth. So anyways, that's how that's just something I learned. So that's something else you can do. All right, so now let's look at the Nibble box real quick. Let's CD into desktop. All right, and we can cat Nibbles again. So before we go on, these are all my the files I kind of use in terms of scripts and bunch of scripts and binary files, or a bunch of binaries that I use to kind of help me out exploit certain machines. So, but we'll touch on each. You'll see me use some of these scripts in this video actually. So, but before we go on, let's before we get there, let's just look at the Nibbles box. So here we can see that after doing a scan, I see port 22 is open, which is the SSH, and then we can see port 80. Okay, we can see the RSA keys over here, and we can also see our port 80 open. So this gives me a HTTP, so this gives me an idea that this port or this machine is probably a Linux web server, being that it's running on Ubuntu also. So okay, so let's get into the box. Let's get into the IP address. Okay. Okay. Oops. Oops. Oh wow. What did I just do? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Also, if you're using the default theme for the for the default theme of Kali Linux, you can see the point-to-point connection over here. So that's something else I just wanted you to know. When you do if config and you see the tune 0, that's the point-to-point. You can also see it up here. So you don't have to always do if config. You can just look at it here and then use that IP address anytime you're trying to move files between localhost and remote host. So that's something else that we can use also. All right. Okay. I'd like to specify an alias, honestly, so that I don't have to always type the clear command. All right. So let's look at this web server. Now, most of the time when I'm making solutions, I always love to enumerate, because one of the major things with OSCP is you need to learn to enumerate really, really well. So I tend to enumerate almost every single slide that I go through. All right, so here we can see that it says /nibble blog /directory. It says nothing interesting here. So we're going to check out this directory over here and see what we have here. Okay, so let's take out the source quick and then see what we have. All right, okay, so here we can see the Nibble blog. This is a content management page, basically, where you can post images, latest post, and other categories like music. Yes, this is a content management platform powered by Nibble blog. Now, another thing is, now you see that there is sort of like a systematic way in doing this. So the first thing we did was an Nmap scan, right? Then the next thing that we did was to go, once we figured out that it was a web server, we went to the web server. So now another thing that we are going to do is there's going to be two more things we're going to do, right? We're going to check for known exploits, like either we use exploit-db or you use search exploits for this particular product or this particular what's it called now, machine, I mean. And so then we would also try to look for hidden directories within it. So that is the whole enumeration process that we'll be doing at the initial stage. So the first thing we did was nmap scan, and then when we found out it was a web server running Linux on it, we went there and then we're trying to exploit more. Then another thing we're also going to do is we're going to do to find hidden directories. After we're done with finding hidden directories, we're also trying to look at known exploits to see if it can make some of our enumerations some of our enumerations even a bit easier, or better still, see if getting a reverse shell on the platform will be even easier. So before we even move on, let's kind of explore some of these pages to see if it gives us anything. So doesn't give us nothing. Page none, atom. Let's see, HTTP, PHP, pages and blog. Nothing here. XML does not appear to have any style information. So if the document tree is shown below. Okay. So top, nothing. All right. So there's nothing. All right. Okay. So now let's run our gobuster real quick and see what we can do. Then we'll specify the dir directory, then /u, specify with the path. So I think the path is not users that share. I mean, the amount of times I've used this. --watch lists the buster. Yeah, and oh my god, no, I'm so stupid. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We can do that. HW. Okay. Okay. And we can do can look at what stuff we have here. We're going to use medium and give it our extension PHP to search for known extensions like PHP. And here the platform are trying to brute force, and we can give it right. Okay. I think everything looks good. Let's start with enumeration then. Okay, now while this is running, let's open up our let's open up a new tab and look for known exploits on here. So we'll do search exploits, search exploits, Nibbles. Okay, exploit Nibble blog. Okay, so we can see there are two versions. So we kind of need to know what version it is. Now, of course, this is a retired box, so if we search on Google, we definitely will be able to find what version it is. But again, we're gonna assume or act like there are no resources out there for us to kind of enumerate or to kind of enumerate our this target machine. So since we know there's 3 and there's 4 over here, let's kind of explore them. We're going to explore each one of them. So we're going to just seed into desktop. All right, so I just want to know where this file is located first. All right, okay. So we can just do CP, copy this entire stuff into here, and okay, ls. All right, ls -al. Let me see what kind of file it is. Okay, let's explore what this is. Nano 35865.txt. Nibble blog is prone to multiple SQL injection vulnerabilities because the application, again, this is a 3.0, so the 3.0 may have been another way we can even look at this is not even that. We can actually look at later known exploits as opposed to previous exploits, because if we have 2 of them and one of them doesn't even have a piece of code but just more of writing, just educating you on the box, and we have a 4.0, it's only wise for us to actually use this one and try and enumerate the box. But then we are saying that it uses Metasploit and we do not want to use Metasploit, so we're going to stay away from both of this. Now again, we may be able to find something within here that could be useful for us to use, and that would be really nice. Let's also look at that also. So we can copy this real quick. Already I'm gonna guess everything is gonna be in the same thing, so we can just simply do CP user and we can do 3848.9. Sorry, 3848.9.rb. Press enter. Okay, let's just do locate. Kate. I'm so done. Okay, now. Okay, let's do a nano. 3848. 9 RB. What? 38, 48, 9. Okay. So all Metasploit frameworks. We do not want to touch on this, but let's just see what has happened to our boxes. Okay, so let's try and touch some of these files over here. We have the PHP index, the PHP site map. So we have index.php. Nope. We have theme feed admin. Okay, let's explore the admin first, because that's always what we're looking for. Again, the aim is to get root into majority of these platforms anyways. All right, so we have our user our admin login page. Let's look at plugins over here. I'll explore more this. Okay, a bunch of files here. Let's look at something else. Readme looks like something that'll be nice. Also, let's explore that. Copy. Okay, a whole bunch of files. Before we go here, let's see what we're about. What's in here? Languages. Nope. Low. Let's see my images. Okay. Links. Okay, just take him into the same place. The same thing. All right, so let's read this source code here quickly. No, this is not a source code. This is just a README file, actually. Okay, we can see the version. So which means it's the later version of the Metasploit version is what we should use, but we're not going to use that because we're trying to make sure that we're able to properly enumerate our target machine manually. Okay, says the installation guide. Download the last version from nibblblog.com, unzip the download file, upload all files to your host or local server via FTP, shell, cpan, or others. With the browser, go to URL for your web, example, domain, complete, done, you've installed Nibblblog. Okay. Nothing else for us here. Everyone understand this language. Okay. All right. So there's nothing for us here. What other thing looks interesting here? README, start a PHP, admin a PHP /admin. Let me see something. Let me look at what /admin may have. Okay. Kernel. There's gonna be a rabbit hole. Let's just I don't know. I have to worry myself about that. Okay, I think I don't think I found anything here. Let's look at the source code for this. View-source. Yep. See what we have here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's nothing here that I think might be of use to me. We do have an admin page, quite all right. But let me see this here. View source. Source. Nothing. Okay. What else? Let's look at /content. See what we have. Okay, I think I made an error. Nibbles blog /content. Let's look at nothing. Public uploads. Pages. Okay, nothing. Comments. No. Hold on, I missed one more. Post. Nothing. Let's look at private. Comment config. Config looks like a nice one. And just look closely. We could find something interesting. Okay. Admin at. So this is someone else's email address. Let's come here and keep it somewhere here. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Nope, nothing. Let's see. Okay. Shadows. Let's see. Nothing. And user to Excel. Okay, so we can see the user over here. Admin. Let's come here and keep it at admin. All right, and what else? Look at plugins. Yeah, I've checked this before. I'm not keys. Nope. Pages. Nope. All right, so we do have the admin, what's it called? We do have the username, so we can do admin. Okay, I think we missed out admin, but PHP file. All right, so we do know that this is admin, and if I put in admin again, no. Okay, so let's do a quick brute force using Hydra. Another issue with using Hydra is if it has like a filter that kind of blocks you off, then you may not be able, I may not be able to use this particular local host to get into the system. So something else that I would have to do will be to log into. Usually what I'll do is if I try to brute force a login page, right? And say they have a filter system that or a firewall actually that cuts off that IP address from trying to brute force that web page. Something else, well, we can well, one of the ways to do that, once that happens, because in a real world pen test scenario, in this case, what we can do is just revert the box to its original setting, right? But in a real world pen test scenario, we can't do that. So what we'd have to do is, what I usually would do is I would go to my browser and spin up an instance on Linode. Once I spin up that instance on Linode, I'll connect to the instance on Linode, and from when I SSH into the Linode server, I'll use that to help me out attack the box again in another different way, because the IP address is no longer useful. So that's one way to kind of get into a box without having to revert the box, because again, this is a learning process, right? So we want to, as much as possible, be as scenario based as real world based as possible. But again, I'm gonna do it now. You're gonna again, I've done this before using Hydra to brute force what to call the machine. I was blocked. So all you need to do is just go on your web browser, spin up a Linode server or an instance, SSH into the instance. So that is by itself some form of host for you to be able to use, but in this case, it's a cloud host. Then you can use that host to attack the machine. Or if you have another computer, you can do that, but that's just messy. Or another way you can do it is you can spin up another virtual machine and try to attack the box that way. This is again different ways to attack a box without having to do a revert without having to do a revert on the box. This is just to make it as lively or as realistic as possible. Anyways, so another thing that we can do here, so now we know that the password here is admin. Now, in solving quite a number of boxes, usually when you're trying to solve a box like this, most of the time the password is usually the name of the box, right? It's also something you also find on the OSCP too. So for example, when I tried to brute force it using Hydra, I couldn't get it. And so another thing that I noticed over time is that sometimes the password could be the name of the password. Sometimes the password could be admin. Sometimes it could be 123. Sometimes it could be so many other things. But these are so now one of the things that you can write down on your notes is, okay, if I want to attack a box, I know that, okay, if I have a login page and I'm able to get the username and password, so the username, I can do a quick brute force using Hydra, right? That's one thing. That's one step. Another step is I can guess it. And one way you can guess it is, okay, what's the name of the box? Nibbles. Okay, I can use Nibble. I can, okay, if I use that, what else can I do? I can, what else? I can go on Google and search for that box and get the password. That's another way to go about it. I can try admin. I can try admin password 123. I can try admin 12345 and so on and so forth. So again, if that is what you want to do, that is fine. Again, these are just different ways to kind of guess a username and password. You can also brute force the password using that particular tool. But before I even go on, I need to first even catch the request first. Because so this is another thing I do also. Okay. That burp. Okay. Again, I always have burp spinned up all the time, because I never know when something may come up in my head and I have to use it. Send it. Okay. So admin. Okay. So I'm gonna guess Nibbles. Nope. Oh, sorry. I think my stuff is still on. My proxy is on. Off. All right. Okay. So now we're in the box. So one of the few things that I did here was to really play around this box a whole lot. So kind of like just try and look for new things over here that I can play around with, like anything that may allow me be able to kind of have a reverse shell on there, because again, I'm deriving majority of my concept from the bashed box, where I was able to upload a reverse shell script into the web server and then run it on the URL and then turn on my netcat listener and then catch a shell. But in this case, I'm thinking of just looking for loopholes here where I can upload a reverse shell to be able to get a shell back. Just want to look at. All right. Okay. So. Get videos. Okay. Another thing that we can also look at can also be the plugins. Again, something that can allow me go into 4.0.3. Something that can allow me go into like my like can allow me go into like my local host, something that I may be able to one way or another remote into that local host, into my local host, to be able to upload those files in there, to be able to get a shell. Display all categories of your blog, allows the user to filter posts, show hello. No. Plugins available for install. Write a brief description about your blog. About. Here we have something known as browse. Okay, let's look at our reverse shell and pick our PHP reverse shell over here. Save changes. Okay, so let's go to content real quick. And then I think I did about, right? About. Plugins. Go to about. Okay. Anyways. Give me a second. Nothing. Okay. Plugins. Again, we can peek. There you go. Browse, go to PHP shell and save it. To my content. Okay, we're an image here. Oh man, sorry. I didn't spin up my netcat list. Okay, let's cd into stop ls. Can cd into the reverse shell. Let's real quick. Just want to quickly see what port that was, because that was silly. I mean, I'll check that. What port did I use? And 10.4.14.4 88888. Okay. All right, so we're gonna set up my netcat listener real quick, and then that'll be nc dash lvmp and then 8888. That's my netcat listener, and then if I do that, I should be able to get a reverse shell. All right, so here's our shell. So now we have tty, so we want to quickly spin up a reverse shell. Sorry, we want to sort of upgrade the teletype. What do I do with it? I use, okay, so I'm coming. I need to do something. Where is? Oh, sorry. Where? Sorry. Where is Python to know what Python 3? Okay, we can do Python 3 dash, and we can import pty dot spawn to spin up to kind of upgrade our platform /bin/bash to give it what kind of shell environment we want it to have. And from there, we close the port. Just want to make sure everything is right. Enter. Okay, so we have our full. All right. Okay, so we have everything full here. Now, if we do id, who's our user? So nibbler is the user. Okay. In this case, we can just cd into home to find what we're looking for. ls cd into nibbler. And do an ls. So if we cat our user.txt, then we get the shell, and then we can post the shell. We can get, so we got the flag, I mean, and we can post a flag on here. So let me just come to my notes. I'll handle that later. I never got to use this, but that looked interesting anyways. Okay. What else? Then from here, so give me a second. I just want to look at what files I'm running here. Okay, so now once I'm able to get a reverse shell into the web server, one of the first things I do here is to try to enumerate that localhost. So one of the things I'm going to be doing right now is to move files from I know you're going to close down anyways. I don't need this no more. All right, so one of the things I'm going to do now is I'm going to cd into the enumeration script that I have on file that I use every single time. Linenum is kind of what I use, Linux enumeration. And into desktop and into Priv. All right, so this script over here is what we're going to be using. I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to spin up Python 3-m simple http Spin up a quick server here on port 80. Oh, okay, I'm tripping right now. Okay, here, and then I'm going to get that file so that I can just do a quick enumeration here. So again, this is point to point, which is the OVPN file. When we download and we connected to it, this is the environment that we're currently functioning under. So the point to point is it over here, right? You can also do that too. So we can do lin. Okay, we can also do lin enum right .sh and try and get our file. There you go. I think we're good. All right. So when we do ls-al, we find out that the lin enum over here, okay, it's not executable. So what we'll do, we'll change the privilege to X, give it an executable privilege. Lin enum.sh. Okay, ls-al, sure. There you go. Yeah, so this is what we're looking at. And so we can then do lin enum .sh and then click enter and let it do its thing. So it's going to do a quick enumeration on that particular host that we're doing, and we're just going to look through it and see what we can do from here. All right, let's just go up here and just start reading through. All right, over here, the kernel information, kernel list, Nibbles, the user group, nibbler, username, nibbler, yeah, what did I just think of now? Okay. So super user over here is root. Okay. So we can see something here. It says here we can sudo without supplying a password, and then possible sudo point. So we pwnh. We can see here there's a file, nibbler, personal. Okay, I think we also saw it when we did the ls over there. But again, this is something that we can just copy and paste and just hold on to it. It may be useful for us later on. All right, so we're gonna put this here. All right, we're gonna come down so we can start working. All right, so here when we do ls over here, you can see there's a file known as personal zip. We're going to unzip this file. Unzip and then do personal.zip. All right, and then we have personal stuff, and this. Let's just go right into this, which is the last file over here. And then we will do a cd into that, and then do ls monitor. So let's cut what is in here. Monitor.sh. Okay. It's a bunch of scripts. A bunch of bash script says right for this health monitoring script. Clear the screen on set. So now what this shows me is that in trying to push release, so these are all almost like a process status check is what I'm seeing here. Looking at the architecture, the kernel release. So it definitely looks like this would be updating from time to time to try and look at okay, check DNS. Oh yeah, exactly what process status checks. So basically it's going to be checking the whole entire server to basically to monitor the entire thing, really, which is hence the name of the file monitor.sh. So what we can do is, it's likely that all these processes that it is looking at is generally going to be run, or you're going to have access to them via root user. So you kind of have to be root to be able to execute scripts like this. So which gives us an idea that if we can replace this, right, we can, let's see who owns the script actually. Yeah. Nibbler owns them. Okay. I may be wrong on that then. But some of these resources will, okay, I think I'm wrong on that. No, I am wrong on that. I am wrong on it because Nibbler owns the file. Okay. But what we can do with this is we can take this and replace it with a script to see if we can get a reverse shell. So here we can come here and have a netcat listener over here. And C-LVNP, and then I don't know what port we're going to be using here, but we'll figure that out. Okay. I think, yeah, we don't have that script here because we're going to be using a bash script anyways for this. I'm cd into okay. All right, so we're going to be using this script over here. I just want to know what port number it is. Port 888. Okay. 8888. All right, so just listen there, stay there. So we're going to be using that script here. We're probably going to execute it too. All right, okay. Next. Just want to do something real quick. Copy bash that to monitor.sh into ls. Okay, so we have the replica of the script here, and we can now spin up our Python, our web server. I'm sorry, using Python. Then we can come here to our shell and do a wget. Actually, we can actually remove this. Remove monitor.sh ls. Okay, nothing. Thing going on. Did I catch a shell? Nope. Nope. What's going on? Okay. Anyways, let's just use this again. You have to go to our web browser over here and then Nibbles blog. So we have it here. It's off. Web suite on. What's going on? What did I do wrong? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sorry for for the I don't know the errors I'm making, because I just don't want you to like I just don't want to solve them and then just go away. I actually want to make some of these mistakes so that you can actually see how the whole brainstorming process goes on. So it's important to me. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, I'm using Python 3. What am I doing wrong? Spawn bin/bash. Nonsense. Know what I'm looking for is okay. Now I'm gonna do now. I'll just have this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Pretty sure I did it right, man. Because it says line 1 attribute error pty. Let's do try it again. Python 3 dash c, here import pty, here pty stops 1 slash bin slash bash. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Alright, so do ls, then we'll cd into home. Same process we went through the first time. Do ls again, then cd into nibbler. Ls, and then we'll cd into Oh, okay, yeah. Into personal plus into stuff. And then I just want to cut mental file save. And SH. Okay. All right. So the few things we're going to do is, so that shell I have over here. Sorry. Okay. I remove monitor to monitor one. Alright, that's it. Okay, spin up our web server real quick. Alright, come here and then do a wget. Try to get the file in there. 14.7 slash window, no, sorry, monitor .sh. Monitor one .sh. Okay, ls. Okay, so then we can move monitor one .sh to monitor.sh. So if we do ls and then we cat monitor, oh, I don't have my netcat listener on. I have a netcat listener. So we nc that on port 88. 88888888. And then from there, just want to look at AL. Okay, so change mod plus X to the monitor file .sh and -l. Okay, so execute the file monitor.sh. If you get the version, oh, there you go. You do ID for mine. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. We simply get back. Oh my god. Seriously. Oh man. Okay. It's ls. So this is what happened. I ran this as the nibbler user. That's why I got it back here as nibbler. But for me to be able to run that file and get it as root, I actually need to run it with root privilege. Dumb. I'll come back here again and then let's just see what's in here, and then sudo monitor .sh should get my stuff back. There you go. So now I'm root. So if I do an ls here, or I do an ID, I get back root, and you can also see it here that I'm root. And then from there we can do cat into root/root test, because that's where the files are always located. And let's just sit into root then. Oh, okay. See where I am. So ls into root. Okay. And then we can cat slash root.txt txt. Okay, so here's the file over here, the root flag. So here is the end of the nibble box and how we're able to get roots and all the messing around and just being silly and not kind of like being meticulous with my work. So hence eventually been able to solve the box. Again, if you don't want me kind of like banging my head around and trying to figure this out and that out and why I made that mistake and why I did that, I can definitely make a shorter video. But then again, shorter video will simply mean I won't be able to explain it as I mean, I would hope I could explain a few things well, but shorter videos will simply mean I'm just going to solve the boxes and you're not going to kind of follow me to think as I'm going around. So maybe for other subsequent videos, I may have to cut the length of the videos pretty short, but I hope this has been very informative and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.